Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining me again on Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. It's 1 minute past 5 p.m. You're tuned into Reading 93.7 FM on Silverbird TV. Yes, this is your number one talk show on radio and TV. We talk about deep things, deep issues, real life stories, relatable matters. We dive into relatable issues most importantly. And of course, you can watch us on YouTube. Leave a comment on our YouTube live stream by searching for Silverbird N24 on YouTube. Click on the live button to watch the show live, and you can leave a comment as the show progresses if you have thoughts and questions about the topic of the day. We love to shake the waters on various topics, sometimes controversial, sometimes real. But today we talk about vulnerability. Vulnerability. Is vulnerability a sign of strength or weakness? Is vulnerability a sign of strength or weakness? Vulnerability. The word vulnerability has to do with choosing not to hide your emotions, choosing to open up yourself, even when you are going to be attacked emotionally and physically, even when you are exposed to being attacked physically or emotionally. It's just, opening up, basically. Are you one of those kind of people that when you hear vulnerability, when you just hear or V like this, you just say, I don't want to be a part of it. I've been hurt before. There was this babe that I opened up my soul to, I opened up my heart to. I was vulnerable with her, and then she broke my heart, Or there's this friend that I was in the office with, and we were best of friends. We're working together at work. We had a deal that we're about to seal, and once the deal just entered like this, I was so vulnerable with this my friend, and then he just ghosted me, or he just backstabbed me on this deal. So I don't even want to talk about it. I'm one of those people who cringe at the thought of vulnerability. Well, this topic is for you. Vulnerability is a very key aspect of life. It's a key life. I don't know whether it's a key life skill or something that we are exposed to. If you seek to connect with someone, you seek to be emotionally, physically, or connected with somebody, or any form of connection, vulnerabilities is a conversation to have. Research has shown that vulnerability is an incredible common fear. Everybody gets vulnerable one thing or another, because according to the dictionary, it says it's the quality of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed physically or emotionally. So you already know that, or if I say this thing about myself, or I expose this information about myself, there's a possibility that this person will use this information against me. But I don't choose to see at the negative. I focus on the positive, and therefore I would open up myself irrespective of the fact that this person might hurt me or harm me. Whether that is a wise thing to do or a stupid thing to do will be for you to decide today on the show. So feel free to calling on the show on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. Most people consider vulnerability a weakness because sometimes you can't control what the other person, does with the information that they have about you. You can't control how they see you or how they perceive the information, and that can be dangerous, leaving you exposed to physical, mental, or emotional attack. When we enter into even new relationships, sometimes we find it difficult to open up ourselves. I am on this table personally. When I even get into new relationships, I find it hard to talk about myself. I try to pick and choose what I say and what I do not say, so that I don't say too much. I also do not want to say too much so that I feel like, I'm giving a lot of myself to this person. Do you find yourself having a very high wall? Do your friends and family say, you are too guarded? Told me, Tunde, you are too guarded. You don't want to express you don't want anybody. You're not emotionally available. Are you scared of vulnerability? Have you been hurt before? Why? What hurts you? Are you emotionally unavailable? Do your friends and families or loved one complain that you are not vulnerable? Or do parents, there are some parents that when you grow up around them, or you cannot even open up to them. I remember growing up, my mom would tell me to tell her what's happening with me in school, or tell her something about one boy or something. Then after cajoling me, I'll now tell her. Then once I now tell her, before I know, I'll go and hear the news with my dad. My dad will be the one to be gisting me later and using Koboko to wire me and saying, I sent you to school to go and read, but you are here talking about boy following boy, yeah, koboko, take this koboko and all that. And for some reason that actually made me close up a little bit, because I feel like, oh, if my mother, I cannot even be vulnerable with my mother, or I am vulnerable, and then she's using this information of me, and saying it to my dad. I mean, from my own perspective, she probably did not mean any hurt, but as a kid that meant a lot. That's passed the wrong message to me. So are you with parents, or do you have parents whom you cannot even open up to? Or you have friends and family who you cannot, loved ones that you cannot even share with? Or you desperately want to share with somebody, but you do not know how to share? Are you a perfectionist? I want to hear your thoughts, your personal story, your vulnerability story. I feel like, again, vulnerability, they will tell you as some gender, one gender is more vulnerable than the other. Why is it that men find it hard to be vulnerable? Why is it that men find it hard to talk about, their issues themselves, to open up, to let people in, to be emotionally available? I know the men are out there. Maybe you guys can help us answer this question. So do well to call in on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. Numbers to call to be a part of this conversation is 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. Are you always afraid that people will leave you behind, or you feel like you're not comfortable, expressing your feelings and your deepermost thoughts? Imagine having a conversation with a group of friends and you cannot be completely authentic or say what's on your mind for real, because you're scared of how they will perceive it. You can't even be vulnerable because you are scared of, oh, what would they say? How would they say it? How would they react to it? So you are not even your authentic self, and that has made vulnerability even more difficult for you. Anyways, let's take our first call on today's show. Hello. Oh my God, we lost that call. I love for you to call back. Please call back on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. This conversation is definitely one to have. We have a lot of people out there who are not, I don't know why my 8 factor is trying to come out by force by fire today. We have a lot of people out there who are not, they don't even understand what vulnerability means. I am included. We don't even understand what vulnerability, we do understand it, but we don't know how to apply it because we are just too scared. Let's take another caller. Hello. What is going on with the line today? Please do want to call back on the other line, 0705 993 6937, 0705 993 6937. Or the second number, 0705 993 7937. I hope it's not the network here. Hello? Okay, I keep losing this call. Please ensure, I don't know what, this must definitely be the network, because it's ringing and picking up your call, but we're losing you. Please don't give up. Please do also call back on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. Like I was saying, a lot of us, we cannot relate to the topic, especially in this time and age where everybody wants to use people as content. So you are opening up to somebody, you are being vulnerable with somebody, and before you know, you are hearing your gist somewhere, or they are using your gist to take you out of a job role or something. Let's take another caller. Hello. Hello. Hola. All right, I'll lose that call. Please, we have 2 lines. Please make sure you're trying the 2 lines to be sure that it is not even a line problem. I want to know it's probably, let's just guess it's a network problem. So please keep trying the 2 lines, 0705 993 7937, 0705 993 6937. Hello? Hello? All right, I want to guess that this must be a technical issue. I have to go on a short break. When we come back, I want us to talk more on the topic of the day. I feel like we have a lot to talk about this on this topic, vulnerability, and it's not a topic that we really want. Usually, people want to open up about and jump right into it, but that is why we are on Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. We love to have those uncomfortable conversations, and this is one of those conversations that are uncomfortable. Would you say vulnerability is a strength or a weakness? I made a poll on my Instagram asking this question. I was like, is vulnerability a strength or a weakness? I said I put A, strength, B, Weakness, C, both. D, I don't know. Guess what? 50% of people voted for strength, and 50% voted for weakness. So some people feel like it's a strength and a weakness, and so others feel like it's a strength. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Good to have you on the show. Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
My name is Deborah on Deep Waters. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi. My name is David. I'm calling from I'm calling from Surulere, Aguda.
Okay, good to have you, Surulere. Thanks for David from Surulere. Thanks for calling. Talk to me.
I have some issues with.
Ah! What is going on today? Jesus. I'm sorry. I couldn't hold that. What is going on? Oh my God! Please do well to call back. I want to hear somebody talk. My head is bursting. My brains are switching. I want to hear somebody talk to me. I want to hear what's on your mind, people. And I hope this is not a network issue. I think we have to go on that break. Let's quickly check the phone lines, and then we get back. We need to talk about this topic today. We definitely need to dig deep and dive into this topic. Vulnerability, is it a strength or a weakness? And dear caller, I just missed your call. Please do also call back. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Indeed, we're right in the middle of the deep, digging even deeper and diving into deep relatable matters today on the topic vulnerability. Is it a sign of strength or weakness? Vulnerability, like I said, I feel like the word is too long. Vulnerability is just a way that someone is exposed to the possibility of being attacked physically or emotionally by just sharing, basically. So when you share information about yourself, when you open up, knowing that there's a possibility that this information that you are sharing could be used against you, but you choose to see the positive lights at the tunnel, and open up and show up yourself, and expose yourself and express your thoughts and feelings. Most importantly, I feel like the way I even define this, thank God that we have a coach with us. I'm sure coaches always have a way to break it down even more, and that's why I have a special guest with me in the studio. She's someone who's very dear to me. I feel so connected to her, even though I've not told her that literally. And of course, before I introduce her, I can see you guys are calling in already. I would love to hear your thoughts. I wanted to desperately hear your thoughts before we go on the break on the first segment, but the network, I don't know. But I'll try it again, and hopefully we can get a thought from somebody. Hello. 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 Wow, this was just, I don't know if this is a network or something else, but calls are coming in and I can't seem to hear you guys. I don't even know what to say now. Is it that I keep calling now? But I want you to call on the other line. Call on 0705 993 6937. 0705 There are two lines. So if one doesn't go, the other one will go. Tele Yoruba, like Yorubas will say, Eyaje. So please try both numbers so that I can take your calls and actually hear from you. Without further ado, let me introduce my special guest with me in the studio. She's a highly skilled, certified life coach and therapist dedicated to empowering individuals to achieve their fullest potential. She has a robust portfolio with certifications in life coaching and neuro-linguistic programming, emotional freedom technique, and matrix Chineke iweleleyo cognitive behavioral therapy, emotional intelligence, financial and business intelligence, and business strategy and model development. Guys, I know we don't really know what all this thing, but she shall know the thing. She know I'm wedding. In other words, my guest brings a comprehensive approach to personal and professional development, and a unique selling proposition lies in her ability to assist busy and overwhelmed professionals and even ordinary individuals like you and I overcome procrastination, breaking through obstacles, staying productive, and ultimately increasing their revenue. I think I have to even add the part where she helps them to be vulnerable too, as a professional and as human beings, most importantly. Without further ado, I have with me my special guest in the house, Abisola Buhari, life coach and therapist. Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Man, those words, your English there wanted to turn my tongue around. To think that I've read them before now, to now read it in your presence. See, my tongue was just going like this. Linguistic programming kilo day.
It is what
Wait
it
till happen.
It's what it is.
Good to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming and
Thank
the
you
show.
for having me.
I really cannot wait to explore, dive into these deep waters with you, vulnerability. Like I said backstage, I feel like you actually inspired this topic, and I kind of feel like there's a strong connection between you and this thing called vulnerability that you haven't shared with me, and I hope that you get to share with me. But without for the sake of the audience or people who are listening to me, I've tried to use the dictionary definition to understand what vulnerability is. But I would love for you to, from a life coach perspective, help us understand what is vulnerability.
Okay, I'll be as simple as I can be. Vulnerability is you. The ability for you to open up and say things the way they are. Express your feelings, share whatever is going through your mind. It could be your success story, it could be the other way around. I don't want to like, okay, let me say the struggles. The struggles. I don't want to use the word failure. So you being able to come out openly and say, this is who I am, this is where I am, and this is how I have been able to get to where I am. And also saying this is where I want to go confidently without holding back and thinking that you will be condemned, judged, or whatever about what you're sharing.
Okay, nicely put. But how do you now differentiate between vulnerability and bluntness? Because this definition sounds like being blunt.
No. Being blunt is something that you just come up with and sharing your opinion on an idea or in a topic conversation. You are coming out and saying, this is my own opinion. But when we are talking about vulnerability, everything you are saying is about you. You are not sharing your opinion on a certain topic. It's not a view about some perspective, either political, spiritual, business-wise. It is you, what you are experiencing, what is happening to you. And you are sharing it as it is, without mincing words, without holding back, without sugarcoating it.
That one is deep.
So that is vulnerable.
Imagine having to do all that. Imagine sharing your deepest secret without sugarcoating it, and to without holding back,
and mincing words.
And without mincing words. That sounds really, really hard. As simple as it sounds hard. It even sounds to me more like a weakness than a superpower. Is it a weakness or a superpower?
It is a strength. It is a superpower. And Abisola, I can say that one of my most superpower is my vulnerability. I can open up as I am now. If I feel like crying, I cry. I don't feel like, thousands of people are watching. What would they say? It's an emotion. So now if somebody call you now and say, Deborah, okay, you just got this contract and it's so, how would you feel? Would you mind that you're on a program? Oh, so when you feel you're experiencing a negative emotion, why do you not have to bottle up?
Because they will laugh at you. Because they will look down on you. Because people remember the bad than even the good. Because they would snap you and go and post it as content. Because that will make, and it goes beyond the pain you are feeling now. It now goes to, when you now see the looks on their faces, they'll be laughing, they'll be talking about you in closets.
And all of that,
they will use it against you. No, they will even use it against you in the sense that, you want to come and lead us in this department, you that you were crying for in front of babe that day. Oga shift.
You see, all these thoughts are made up. All these thoughts are made up by us. Okay, what if you are not condemned? What if they do not post you? And I want you to know that even if 5 people post this thing negatively, and there is one person that pick a positive aspect of it and is being influenced, Deborah, see what she's going through, and she picks something out of it and run with that thing, and that thing really helped her. You have touched life. you have impact life. Your vulnerability have saved someone. So when you look at it from the positive angle, then I don't think it's something you want to hold back. And for somebody that can come out and share as it is a strength. People that are holding back are the ones that are weak because they are afraid of being judged. They are afraid of being condemned. And how would they get help?
Or maybe they are wise, not because they're afraid of being condemned, because they know that the society is wired a certain way. And some information are not out there, are not supposed to be out there. Because when they have it, they use it against you. For example, the society looks at you and say, oh, men, you should not cry. You are a man, toughen up, man up, and all. The society doesn't want to see men shed a tear. And when you shed a tear, it feels like you are not man enough. And so with that upbringing, especially when you grow up in a family where that is the norm, men don't cry, and then that is what the society pushes towards you, then you're telling me I should now what? I should start being vulnerable. If I feel like crying, I should shed a tear. It's easier to say that because you're a woman.
No, I've had one of my mentor cried on an IG live. This was someone that has gone through different procedure trying to give birth, and he said at a point he felt like, why is it always the women? His wife has done a lot. Okay, let me step in. What can you do to me so that I can at least contribute? And one of these I can't remember, brought him to come and share that story, and he was crying on Instagram like there was no one person that could come out and say, why are you crying? We were sharing words of comfort. People were hailing him. Because of that, I think he got an international invitation to come and speak globally. Just because he was vulnerable, he shared. And I know that had touched some men, like we are in June. This is men's mental awareness month.
Wow.
So we are encouraging men. I always tell my son, cry. You're first of all human before you're a man. I don't stereotype, okay, blue is for guys. No, my son, I try to do colors for him because I don't want him to believe that this is for a certain gender. We are first of all human before being whatever gender we are and whoever we are. So men don't cry. I don't buy that idea. My dad cried. I was with my dad on Sunday, and on the 25th, I was visiting my daughter in our school. And in our school, they always give them cards. They'll give them greeting cards. You should write a note, a love note to your parents, and if you have grandparents. So she wrote these notes to our parents and wrote to my dad. My mom is late. And the way she gave it to me, I just put it in my bag, got to the airport. When I got home, I did not even check it. And on Sunday, when I was going to see my dad, I just said, Dad, you have a note from your daughter. And my dad was reading this note, and he was crying.
Aww.
And he said, and my son was like, why is grandpa crying? I said, you see, every of us that show our emotions got it from him. My dad is almost 70. He still cries, and he cries in public. When we lost my mom, he did not hold back. He did not say that people will laugh at me because I've lost my wife. So that is what I grew up to see. And coupled with my profession, I tell people, you are first of all human. Whatever the emotions you are feeling, your experience, show it. Let people know this is what you are going through. The people that want to judge, let the judging judge you. But the people that will help you will see that this person needs help, and they would help you. If you don't share, nobody will come.
So they very, very well put out there. But how do I know as a person that I am vulnerable or I'm invulnerable? How can I know?
So if you are this kind of person that anything that happens to you, you are always hiding it. Or let me say, if you are someone that you get triggered easily, something happen, something that you are not supposed to react upon, you are reacting to it, then you have bottled up enough, more than enough. So that's why there is a saying that if you don't heal on what caught you, you will bleed on who do not cut you. So something has caught you, you have a wound. you refuse to treat it and get ill. So whenever somebody just pass by, they don't know you have that wound, and they just mistakenly touch you. You just you pour that aggression on them.
Damn.
So you need to get ill on what cuts you. And when you know that you're this kind of person that discussing relationship, and you are always against men are scum, women are gold diggers, then you have an underlying issue that you really need to deal with. And when they are talking, some people will say, there is no God. And these are people, maybe they've experienced loss, grief, something had happened, and they feel like God did not come through for them. So vulnerability cuts across the 12 critical areas of life. It's not limited to social circle. It could be in your relationship. We will see people that, despite the fact that as Nigerians we worship our spiritual leaders, we go to them, Dad, this is what I'm going to, my mom, this is what I'm going to. Some people will still not bear it all. They will miss words, sugarcoat it, just lie and tell the pastor or the imam what they want him to know. They will still hold some things back. So some people will even be talking to God. They are not vulnerable enough. They will just be like, hey, God, me, when I'm praying, I'll be like, when I'm going, in 2020, when I was first told that when you are facing life challenge, you don't say, God, why me? You say, God, what do you want me to learn from this? It was hard. How can you tell me I'm going through life situation and you're telling me to say, God, what do I want to?
What were you going through though?
See, that story for another
Be
day.
vulnerable with us.
I have a daughter that is as big as I am. I'm currently in law school, and I'm in law school with my daughter.
Wow.
My daughter is 22. I had her at 19. So you can see a relationship where you felt like, okay, this is how my life is going to be like, and life happens, and that relationship just had to halt, and you really need to go back. And I come from a home where my dad was insisting that is that guy or no one else, and I need to like, no, Dad, I can't go on. And at the point, my friend was like, hey, just for your child, just go on. And that was there. I went to school. I graduated. And while I was trying to celebrate, they called me back and said, my results should be contested.
Wow.
And we were on it. And my certificate was withdrawn.
Wow.
So just look at me. I think I was 25. I lost a relationship and I lost a degree that I've worked all my life for. And from that moment, I was just living life as it comes. So I thought like, okay, my dad established me. I had this spa. I went to a beauty school. I was like, okay, my friends, they are working to make money. I'm doing this to make money and I'm comfortable. Until when COVID happened, and I just said, okay, let me just take this certification in emotional intelligence. I went in and I was like, okay, there's another one. Let me do this one, another one. Let me do this one, another one. Let me do this. And, we were in class. It was just one question. Who are you? Tell us your name, who you are, and what you do. And, we had people, cream de la cream in the society in that class. They've introduced themselves. I was number 8, and when it got to my turn and I was like, my name is Abisola Buhari, and the next thing was, who am I? And I broke down in tears.
Wow.
And before you know it, I was talking and I spoke for 1 hour 48 minutes.
No way.
Crying. And I was just sharing everything that had been happening to me, to people that don't know me. This was me. I was in my house when I saw adverts on Instagram, and I like, okay, let me just join. And I was speaking to over 30 persons. And at that moment, the moment I finished speaking, and my mentor was like, okay, no, nobody. I was just saying nobody should say anything. Let her keep talking. And I cry. My eyes were swollen, my nose, my head. And after sharing, they said, let's go for a 30-minute break. By the time we came back, the questions that followed up, and I began to realize that I have bottled up so much. I had imprisoned myself. In fact, I had a prison, maximum prison in my heart, and I was the number one inmate. People that have offended me while I was going through stuff, people that have said one thing or the other, have packed everybody and imprisoned them. I was feeling so offended that God, everything I did when I was in the university and people were enjoying life, I was serving God, and God allowed all of these things to happen to me. And that vulnerability that day is what bettered the new Abisola. That was how I became a professional. I'm like, okay, I want to help people. I want people to know that you don't need to hold back. I don't know any of those people, but now I have quality relationship. In that class that day, I had people reaching out to make it so like, I can do this for you. I can do this for you. We will support you. We'll hold you by the hand. Okay, we are with you on this journey, this new journey. And here I am today. This is me talking about the same thing, and I'm smiling, I'm not crying. No guilt. I've learned the lesson. I know that, okay, everything happened for a purpose. So, like, when people see me and my daughter, I'll be like, and I say she's my daughter, they play. They're like, okay, yeah. Unfortunately, she's my darker version. So you need to look well before you can agree that she's actually my daughter. So what have you been through? What are you going through? Who do you know? What do you have? It does not matter. In as much as you have a desire and you believe that this desire can manifest, then reach out to the right people. That's why I say, when people are saying my accountability for my best yet, no, look for a professional, somebody that would be able to tell you that, Deborah, no, this is not going to work. This is how you have to do it. If you want to achieve this goal, this is it. And it's always good when you're getting the service of a coach. Look for an integrated practitioner, somebody that is a therapist, so that when there is an underlying trauma, I'm working presently with some persons, and this person, one of them could not do anything, and I said there is trauma. What are you dealing with? And when we went deeper, I realized it was grief. She lost her dad some years ago, and she was not allowed to grieve the way she should have grieved. And that grief had held her back, and she's lacking, it's affecting her relationship. But she's married to an amazing man who's like, okay, we are in this together. So if you don't go through the right channel, then you'll still be complaining that, no, it's Nigeria. We blame Nigeria. You blame your parents.
You blame every other thing.
You blame every but you.
This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Indeed, we are in the deep waters, and thankfully we have a coach with us who will not help us drown, who will not allow us to drown, basically, because these things I'm hearing today are very heavy. My heart is heavy, but hopefully they will get lighter before the end of the show. You can join the conversation. I saw some of your missed calls. I want to take calls, but I've been taking calls. I can't hear anything, and they say it's not technical issues. That's most likely network. So please keep calling on both lines so that we can actually take questions and calls from you guys. I'm sure our life coach here, Bisola Buhari, would love to actually answer your questions and even hear from you. So please do also calling on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Wow, finally. Good to have you.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling, Ikena.
Oh, wow. Okay, nice one.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, you see, the thing is this, the way I view all these things, with everything about human beings, there's no hard and fast rule. You know, there is time for everything. There's going to be vulnerable, there's going to be strong, there's when to, be midway and all of that. You know, in your introduction, you railed out a lot of things which covers a very wide spectrum, from whether you should be so much eager to open up to a new person in a relationship, or cry when you're going through things and all of that. So it's a wide, range that you've railed out in the topic for conversation today. A lot of your conversations can never be finished, exhausted in one day.
True.
Yeah. Your guest has walked a lot of roads, which is very, very, is very difficult, and thank God that she's come out, to be able to talk about it. A lot of times in life is often nicer when you tell the stories of deals you've had to navigate, because it becomes a lot easier for you to talk to somebody. You're talking from a position of personal experience. You know, you have to just find a midway. For me, you have to find a midway to a lot of things, and different circumstances will require different behaviors.
So would you say that vulnerability is a strength or a weakness?
It's not how do I put it now? In banking, we say it's not binary. It's not this or that. It's not. You can't say it's weakness. You can't say it's strength. Now let me look.
Are you speaking as a man or as a banker?
I will speak. I'm a man by nature. I'm a banker and accountant by training.
But what about as a human?
As a human, yes, as a human, I'll tell you as well, and as a husband as well. Now, I have a wife that is not very strong-minded. She cannot take bad news easily. She cannot take difficult circumstances very easily. Now, she looks up to me. I cannot afford to easily show so much vulnerability
Wow.
where she is, because she will sink. I need to be, there are some times I've gone through some.
The lion, the champion is here.
No,
You need to be the Odogu silencer.
There have been times that I went through some things, and I only told her about them 2 years after. That, at so time that I'll come back home smiling, all happy, and we are, that this is what I was dealing with.
But is that even good for you, Ikenna? Is that even good for you? Is that good for your mental health? Forget that you have to be there for someone, for your wife. What about you? Are you showing up for yourself?
Well, it's even helping me carry it. Grieving doesn't solve the problem. If I have to sometimes, forget about my problem, enjoy the time with my wife, and let's all be happy. The problem sits on its own. Later I can revisit it. Do you understand my point? At this time we didn't have a child. My wife had some health challenges. I cannot come back home and now tell her, look, I'm going through this at work.
I hear you. All I hear is excuses, Ikenna. Excuses. Who are you opening up to? Who are you vulnerable with? That's what I'm asking you. You are there for her. You're there for your wife. Before you were a husband, you were first a man. You are first human. So who are you sharing with? Who are you vulnerable with? Who are you opening up to? Or you're just being a strong man all through the years?
No. Every human being, you have different people in your life. You have who you can share this kind of situation with. You have who you can share that kind of, So you will have who. Even when I was going through that, I had people that, okay, guy, get a CBO. I had who knew my circumstance. I tell people something, no matter what happens to you in life, or no matter what you're doing, let there be one person that knows the truth, or that knows the granular information. So I had, who I needed to be leaning on, to be helping me navigate. But I know I need to protect my wife.
Okay, cool.
Do you understand?
All right, thank you, Odogu Silencer. The champion is here, the almighty protector. I appreciate you for calling and sharing your thoughts.
Yeah, that's
Truthfully, I hear a lot of pain in Ikenna's voice. Ikenna is always he calls a lot on the show, always making sense on the show. But today, I get to even see a vulnerable side here. He's trying to be really strong, but personally, I'm hearing a lot of pain behind that voice. As a life coach, what are your reaction to his thoughts?
I'm glad that he pointed out that he had some people he was sharing with at that time, but what he was sharing with them, what help did he get? And that's one of the mistakes we make. He had not called in when I said I don't subscribe to you having your bestie, your friend. Look for experts. People that when you come to them and you share with them, they help you. They help you heal. They help you get solutions. And one thing about sharing with a therapist is we don't have magic. when you come, we ask questions. So the solution to what you are going through is in your answer. So we always tell you we are bound by professional ethics to keep all information confidential. We even sign a non-disclosure agreement, except when we know that there is threatening issue and all of that. And we help you. We tell you, just say it as it is. I can feel the pain in his voice, even as at now. You know that there are so many things on some parts of his stomach that is hiding. That's why I said he's not a this or that.
Is it okay? Sorry to cut you there, but is it okay for him to protect his wife by being this way?
And what he doesn't know, that if he is not whole, there is no way he can be a good husband.
Can be a protector.
If we ask the wife, all of those time, for those 2 years, there will have been some misconception, misinterpretation, because all these things, I felt like he's coming home strong. The wife is speaking some sign and she's misinterpreting it. You are not talking to her. You are not letting her know. And that's one of the things that communication is one of the things that have caused issues in marriage,
especially
in
for this gender.
Yes.
And you can't really blame them, because for some reason our family units always want the man to be
the head
the
of the
Odogu
house
and the champion of
you
the
have
house.
to take all the bullets. And we have some women that when you just he felt his wife is she's weak, she was going through health challenges. Maybe if he had shared at that time, they will have viewed it from different angles, see it from a broader screen, and solution will have come.
Maybe she's even stronger than he thinks.
Like I said, my dad is the weaker
one. Maybe.
When my mom was alive, she's the one that would be like, okay, this is happening, this is how we'll do it. When my dad is still like, he's fidgeting, how are we going to go about this? My mom is coming up with, we can do this, we can do that, we can go it this way. But men feel like we women are inferior, and it's not them, it's the society, the way they have projected it, that you are the man, you have to provide, you have to take all the bullets, you have to take all the blame.
If you have a husband right now that I know is not connecting to me emotionally, what can I do as a wife, as a spouse, as a girlfriend, or as a friend? I have somebody around me who I cannot reach out to emotionally, and they don't know how to even get out. They don't even know that they have that problem to start with.
That's why I always tell people, communication, communicate. You people should talk. On my wedding night, myself and my husband agreed that no matter what, anything you have done, make sure you tell me. And if I have done anything, I'll tell you. Let's open up communication, because when we open up communication, there is not going to be misconception. I am not misinterpreting your body language. I'm not misinterpreting your silence. You have come to me and you're like, Bisola, this is what is happening. No. When my husband wanted to leave his paid employment, he came to me be like, I think at this point, we'll suffer. I said, and I was pregnant. I was like, he said, and for these reasons, but I said, we are in it together. Let's go on. And we went in together. So when things were hard, when things were extremely hard, I could not come and blame him that, why did you leave your job at the time you left it? You want to punish me. And we were just in it together. Okay, how can we navigate today? Let's just navigate today first. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Then tomorrow will come, and like that and like that. So open up communication. As a man, you don't have to feel like, my baby is weak, I don't want to tell her, I don't want to hurt her. Not telling her is hurting her more than you feeling like you are doing her a favor, or you are doing her good. Like indirectly, you are saying that you are tired of the relationship because you are not telling me everything I need to know. I don't know what's going on in your life. And you're telling me you love me.
Don't you think there are some things that you should not say completely? Like I kind of, from his perspective too, you cannot really ignore what he's saying completely, because again, there are some people that I feel like you can be vulnerable with, and some people you cannot be, depending on what factors. And some people cannot take, the level of vulnerability you're about to give them, because they also need to do some work in their personal space.
That's why we say everybody need a coach. You cannot come to me with your issues now and say that it's going to affect me in a way. Even your coach have a coach. My mentor have it. My mentor shuts down every August of the year. He go into therapy. The day he told us that, I said, okay, your birthday is August. That's why you shut down in August. My birthday is November. Every November, I shut down. Even if it was 2 weeks, I go for therapy. I onboarding, because we too, you come to us, it's as if we are watching African magic. People will tell you all sorts of things. Sometimes you soak it in. So for starters, therapy is a starter. If you are not careful, some people will share with you and you soak it in and it start affecting you. So you have to get to a place whereby the moment you are leaving your therapy room, you have dropped everything. So everybody need a coach. You must have, just like people have pastor and spiritual leader, have a coach that you can always go and onboarding. You know, when you are now going home, as a Superman, no, I don't want to hurt my wife. But you are going clean.
Authentically.
And you are not hiding anything. Your wife is not suspecting anything, because you know that you're already working towards getting a solution to the problem that is at hand.
Interesting. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. I never knew this topic was this broad. I feel like we'll have to do a part 2 of this, because I feel like we barely scratched the surface. But I definitely know that we learned 1 or 2 on the concept of vulnerability and how it's much needed. And living an authentic life, and a life full of calm and bliss and quality connection with our friends, loved ones, partners, and most importantly, even our life coaches.
Yeah.
How can people find you, Abisola Buhari, life coach and therapist? And for those people who want to reach out to you and, kickstart their vulnerability journey.
Okay, across all social media, I am Abisola Buhari. My Buhari does not have H. It's Buari. I'm not in any way related to the
Buhari
president. I'm Yoruba. So,
okay.
So
thanks for the
Abisola
clarification.
Buhari, and can I drop my
yes
number?
your handle number? Yes.
So for my WhatsApp line is 090 220 34795.
All right.
So that's it.
I'm sure you can say it one more time for those people who didn't get it.
090 220 34795.
Great.
Abisola Buhari across all social media: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook.
Buhari, and the Buhari without the H.
Thank
you so much for joining us today on the
Thank
show. And I'll leave you with this quote. This quote by Robert Glover. Vulnerability is the path to true human connection, and humans are attracted to each other's rough edges. So rough edges are good. Stop trying to be perfect. Expose your true self and share yourself without inhibition. Take the rejections and lumps and move on, because you are bigger and stronger than you think. Thank you for watching. My name is Deborah Waters. I'll be back next week again at 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. for another amazing show for you. Please do want to follow at Deep Waters _podcast on Instagram and, of course, on Facebook. I hope you enjoyed the show. I feel like this week is going to be a really vulnerable week for me. I need to do more research on the topic, because I feel like this thing actually feels really close to home. Thank you once again, Abisola Buhari.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Kena, for sharing. Bye-bye.
Bye.